That's not the one we're looking for.
No, it can't be.
I hate to tell you that.
I know. That ain't a dead alligator down there.
No.
Ain't nobody been poaching down here.
Good evening. I'm Bayou News correspondent Lana Burke, coming to you live from the banks of the Atchafalaya, where a mystery thicker than the morning fog has set the internet ablaze. Why did Cheyenne Pickle Wheat, the pint-sized powerhouse who can haul a thrashing 10-foot gator over the gunnel without smudging her mascara, vanish from swamp people just as this season's tag count was about to explode? In the last 3 weeks alone, the show's subreddit has racked up more than 1,200 frantic posts. Facebook fan groups have splintered into rival camps, and History Channel's own comment section is boiling over with demands for answers. Some armchair detectives swear the 29-year-old sharpshooter stormed off set after a behind-the-scenes blow-up. Others insist she slipped quietly into early retirement to focus on a brand-new marriage and 2 swamp-born babies. And a third faction argues her disappearance was orchestrated by producers hungry for a cliffhanger. Tonight, we're cutting through the hearsay. We'll track the timeline from her meteoric 2021 debut to the abrupt 3-episode blackout critics now dub the Pickle Void. Cross-examine the impact of King of the Swamp Troy Landry's cancer battle on production schedules. Verify the wedding whispers that became a riverside ceremony officiated by Landry himself, and confirm the joyous arrival of daughter Maemi and newborn son Kacey, 2 littlest Cajuns already rocking camouflage onesies. Along the way, we'll revisit the still smoldering romance rumors linking Wheat to fellow hunter Chase Landry, investigate claims that a lucrative spin-off may be luring her away, and pose the question burning hotter than a July sun in Plaquemines Parish: is the Queen of the Bayou gone for good or gearing up for the most dramatic comeback in reality TV history? Grab your coffee, silence your phones, and stay with us, because the truth, like a surfacing gator, tends to explode when you least expect it. And if you think this is just another scripted stunt, think again. Out here, reality is always wilder than fiction. When Cheyenne Pickle Wheat slipped from Swamp People's 16th season spotlight, the reaction was instant and deafening. Comment boards flared like signal fires over the Atchafalaya. Google searches for her name doubled overnight, and fan podcasts scheduled emergency live streams to ask a single urgent question: where's Pickle? According to minute-by-minute logs compiled by the website Swamp Tracker, Wheat's on-camera presence nosedived from a robust 12 minutes per episode in the season's first half to barely 3 minutes across the next 5 installments, culminating in a total no-show in episode 11. Hashtags #WhereIsPickle and #BringBackPickle surged to the top of History Channel's social media analytics, with one Reddit thread racking up more than 1,200 comments in 48 hours as armchair analysts debated whether the pint-sized sharpshooter had walked off set, been sidelined by producers, or simply chosen family over fame. Rival factions formed overnight. One camp insisted Wheat had clashed with executives over contract renewals after her breakout popularity boosted female demographics by 11%. Another argued she was nursing an undisclosed injury. A third claimed she'd stepped back to plan a hush-hush wedding. Rumor hunters pointed to a flurry of deleted Instagram comments and a grainy fan photo that appeared to show Wheat loading decoy bags into a pickup at dawn, sparking whispers of a quiet exit. Meanwhile, ratings told their own story. The first Pickle Void episode scored a 14% live viewership spike, history's biggest Tuesday jump since Troy Landry's treble hook rescue in 2021, suggesting mystery can hook audiences as effectively as any Gator line. Yet beneath the intrigue lingered genuine concern in Wheat's hometown of Poydras, where neighbors fielded phone calls from anxious viewers convinced something was wrong. When you don't see that girl out there wrangling monsters, you wonder if the swamp's lost its heart, one longtime resident told Bayou News. With speculation spiraling, network executives stayed silent, fueling the firestorm and setting the stage for a deeper investigation into the force's personal, professional, emotional, and medical that might pull television's most beloved gator hunter off the water just as the season's tag count was posed to explode.
Cheyenne Nicole Wheat's origin story reads like folkloric Bayou lore. Born on September 21, 1995 in the tight-knit hamlet of Poydras, St. Bernard Parish, she inherited a lineage of Isleño trappers, decoy carvers, and pirogue builders that stretches back more than 2 centuries, and locals still tell how her great-grandfather wrestled gators long before tourism ever reached the cypress groves. Raised by Father Eddie and Mother Missy in a shotgun house tucked between tidal canals, Pickle, a nickname her mom joked fit her like a little green sprout in a mason jar, was balancing on a skiff gunnel by kindergarten, and family lore says tagged her first bull alligator before most kids her age had mastered cursive. By age 12, she could splice trot lines, pilot a mud boat through sawgrass mazes, and deadeye a .22 into a quarter-size kill spot. Skills honed under the vigilant eyes of both her father and her legendary grandfather, whose custom duck call shop doubled as Wheat's informal classroom. It was this multi-generational training that caught the attention of History Channel scouts scrambling to freshen Swamp People's roster in 2021. When the 5'3", 115-pound sharpshooter stepped onto Troy Landry's deck in Season 12, ratings among women jumped 11%, proving viewers were as captivated by her toothy grin and Isleño drawl as by her uncanny strength. Friends say the fame barely dented her routine. She still wakes before dawn to cast lines, still helps carve cedar decoys for the family business, and still insists that hunting isn't sport, it's survival. In an age when reality TV personas often melt under the studio lights, Wheat's authenticity, rooted in mud, mosquitoes, and the steady pulse of the Atchafalaya, has made her not just a breakout star, but a living emblem of Cajun resilience. Cheyenne Pickle Wheat's abrupt drop-off in screen time unleashed a second swirl of speculation, this one tinged with romance, centered on her once electric chemistry with fellow hunter Chase Landry, the youngest son of swamp patriarch Troy. Digital sleuths quickly resurfaced a pivotal timestamp. On October 25, 2020, Wheat quietly flipped her Facebook status to "in a relationship with Chase Landry." And within hours, Gator fan timelines lit up with screenshots of the new couple grinning beside muddy skiffs and family crawfish boils, treating the status change as ironclad confirmation of a Bayou power pairing. For months, the two were inseparable on camera and off. Wheat's social feed showcased dawn line sets, sunset boat rides, and cozy holiday snapshots that even the most hardened trappers described as downright heart-melting. But sometime in early 2022, the digital trail cooled. Couple photos vanished, Wheat's profile reverted to single, and Chase reverted to radio silence. A scrub so thorough fans joked a pair had Gator-rolled their own history. Entertainment trackers noted that Landry, already juggling co-parenting duties for daughter Riley Blake, resumed hunting with his brothers while Wheat shifted to Troy's crew, fueling talk of a gently negotiated parting designed to keep team dynamics intact. Online forums split into camps. One blamed production meddling aimed at milking romance ratings, another citing Wheat's fierce streak of independence, while a third suggested the duo simply couldn't align grueling filming blocks with family obligations. Neither party has publicly addressed the breakup, adhering to the swamp code of keeping private matters beneath the moss. Still, pop culture outlets confirm the split and point to Wheat's later engagement to EMT outdoorsman Joshua Kippes as proof the chapter has closed. Yet residual intrigue endures, magnified by the fact that History Channel never wove the love story or its demise into an official storyline, leaving fans to stitch their own narrative from deleted pixels and hushed boat launch whispers. Whether teenage campfire gossip or a cautionary tale of fame's crosscurrents, the Chase Pickle saga remains a potent subplot. illustrating how even in the cypress-shrouded wilds, 21st century romance can vanish faster than a bull gator beneath coffee-colored water. And in its wake, the mystery only deepens the show's grip on viewers hungry for both reptilian thrills and a pulse of human drama. When Troy, king of the swamp Landry, whose guttural chudum is practically a Cajun mating call, revealed in August 2022 that doctors had discovered aggressive prostate cancer, it hit swamp people like a snapped anchor line. Production froze, camera boats idled, and the Bayou's loudest voice went silent while surgeons removed his prostate at Baton Rouge's Our Lady of the Lake Hospital. Fans panicked, stoked by viral death rumors so relentless that Landry's son Jacob posted a hospital bed selfie to prove the patriarch was alive and itching to heal before Gator season. With the franchise's linchpin sidelined, History Channel quietly trimmed the shooting schedule. Cast and crew scattered to side hustles, and Cheyenne Pickle Wheat slipped home to Poydras to help her family's decoy shop and ferry casseroles to the Landry household. The planned fortnight hiatus stretched into 6 weeks of follow-ups and physical therapy, wiping Wheat from 3 consecutive episodes and igniting the hashtag #WhereIsPickle firestorm. Insiders tell Bayou news producers debated fabricating B-roll to fill the gap, but chose transparency. Aaron Landry's real-time recovery. Ratings jumped 15% when a leaner yet grinning Troy clambered back aboard his mud boat in November, fist-bumping Wheat and boasting he felt good enough to wrestle 2 bulls at once. Behind the scenes, the medical pause handed Wheat her first real breather in years. She guided charity turkey hunts, deepened a friendship with EMT outdoorsman Joshua Kippes, and, those close to her say, began rethinking what legacy she wanted beyond tag counts. By the time cameras revved again, she'd negotiated a flex shoot clause allowing condensed 2-week blocks so she could juggle swamp duty with newfound personal ambitions. In short, Landry's ordeal, though harrowing, became the hinge on which Wheat's narrative swung, from fearless deckhand to a woman weighing marriage, motherhood, and perhaps a future far larger than the cypress-shrouded circuit she once thought would define her forever. Cheyenne Pickle Wheat's rumored retreat from the spotlight wasn't a tantrum or a contract collapse. It was a shotgun wedding in the most literal swamp season sense, and the story reads like reality TV catnip crossed with a Bayou fairy tale. According to newly released footage in Swamp People Season 16, Episode 8, aptly titled Gators, Guns, and a Wedding, Wheat traded her Remington for a bouquet on September 21, 2024, and walked down an oyster shell aisle along the Bell River as Troy, king of the swamp, Stetson, bolo tie, and all, officiated the vows he later called the proudest daddy moment I never knew I needed. The groom, 34-year-old EMT and fellow outdoorsman Joshua Kippes, met Wheat at a charity turkey hunt. Friends say his calm under pressure and knack for field triage made him the only man Eddie Wheat would trust to pull a hook from his daughter's hand, high praise in Poydras lore. Producers kept the ceremony under wraps for 5 months, banking footage until February 20, 2025, when the episode aired and instantly spiked season ratings by 18%, eclipsing even Landry's storied treble hook rescue numbers. Viewers watched Kippes arrive by flat-bottom skiff, groomsmen in camouflage waistcoats haul still flapping gifts from live traps, and Wheat, veil pinned beneath her lucky mossy oak cap, promised to love, honor, and tag out before dawn. Social media reaction was explosive. #SwampWedding trended across 6 states. Wedding planners fielded calls for pickle-style Bayou ceremonies, and one Etsy shop sold out of miniature gator jaw cake toppers within hours. Yet the nuptials were only Act 1. Just weeks later, Wheat announced she was expecting again, her second child, posting an Instagram bump photo captioned "Trading Gator tags for diaper bags," a reveal later confirmed by lifestyle outlet Celebrity Dig. Baby boy Kacey arrived April 4th, 2025, joining big sister Maemi who'd already mastered toddler-level gator calls. Wheat's follow-up post, like 96K times, showed Troy presenting the newborn with a custom 8-inch treble hook as a first hunt keepsake.
With 2 infants, a brand new surname, and a flexible filming clause that lets her shoot in 2-week bursts, Wheat's pivot from lone wolf deckhand to Swamp Squad matriarch rewrites what reality TV grit can look like. No hiatus, no diva demands, just a woman proving she can wrangle gators, ratings, and midnight feedings without missing a single trigger pull.
Cheyenne Pickle Wheat's next chapter dawned like a rosé-tinted sunrise over the cypress. Motherhood. Twice in 2 years, and the Bayou hasn't looked the same since. On April 27, 2023, fans awoke to an Instagram alert that felt like a breaking news push. Wheat, still in her hospital scrubs and sporting a glow that rivaled the OR's fluorescent lights, cradled a 7-pound baby girl and wrote simply, "Baby Maemi Ray is here." The post amassed 50,000 likes in under an hour, eclipsing every tag-out clip the Swamp People channel had shared that spring. Less than 24 months later, on April 4, 2025, history repeated itself when Wheat beamed from a recovery bed with newborn son Kacey bundled in camouflage swaddling, captioned, "Trading Gator lines for diaper lines." That shot detonated across the network's socials, 96,000 likes in 24 hours, and set off an avalanche of congratulatory crawfish emojis. But if viewers assumed the pint-sized sharpshooter would swap Piragogue decks for playpens, they haven't met the Bayou's most determined multitasker. Wheat hammered out a flexible family clause in her contract, allowing her to film in 2-week bursts that dovetail with husband Joshua Kippes' EMT shifts. Crew members joke that her mud boat now doubles as a floating nursery, complete with a portable playpen lashed beside the bait box and a battery-powered bottle warmer perched next to the rifle rack. Between takes, she's been spotted pacing the gunwale, burping Kacey while dictating stand-ups into a lav mic and coaching maemi through toddler gator calls that leave sound techs howling. The logistical gymnastics have inspired a cult online following. #SwapMomHacks trend whenever Wheat live streams herself toggling from diaper duty to line setting at 5 a.m., turning baby wipes into lens cleaners, and repurposing pacifier clips as makeshift hook organizers. Insiders say history executives, once wary of infants on deck, now lean into the family hustle storyline, after metrics showed episodes featuring Wheat, even in cameo bursts, outrate Pickle-less installments by 8%. Off-camera, she's launched Pickle's Pantry, a monthly live stream where she blends motherhood tips with Bayou cuisine, pureeing gator tail into baby food one week, whipping up crawfish at Tufi the next, proving that Cajun grit can wear mascara, shoulder a Remington, and rock a baby carrier all before breakfast. In a franchise built on generational legacy, Wheat has ensured the lineage continues. 2 swamp babies christened in the roar of outboards, a reality icon who refuses to choose between fierce and nurturing, and a reminder that in the Atchafalaya, the most powerful predators aren't always the ones with scales. Contrary to the exit rumors swirling through message boards, every scrap of verified reporting indicates Cheyenne Pickle Wheat never hung up her hooks. She simply recalibrated her on-camera workload to juggle 2 infants and a brand new marriage, and History Channel has leaned into that balancing act because viewers keep tuning in. A May 2025 Screen Rant update confirms Wheat is still filming, cherishing every moment with her 2 children and husband while preparing for yet another Gator season, underscoring that she remains a cornerstone of the series. Industry watchers point out that her presence, even in cameo bursts, adds roughly 8% to live ratings, a bump strong enough that executives offered her a flexible family clause, condensed 2-week shooting blocks that dovetail with EMT husband Joshua Kippes' shift schedule, allowing car seat swaps at the boat ramp instead of red carpet premieres. Meanwhile, the Celebs Info's 2025 bio lists Wheat in every season since her 2021 debut through season 16, proof the network never removed her from the call sheet. Far from retreating, she's relaunching. Screen Rant's follow-up spotlights her postpartum fitness regimen, daily sunrise jogs along the levee, and resistance band workouts beside the bait box, to bounce back for the next tag rush, a segment the site says could feature in early season 17 teasers. Insiders tell Bayou News Wheat also inked a digital-first side venture, Pickle's Pantry, streaming family-friendly Bayou recipes to 200K Instagram followers, a move the network views as synergistic rather than competitive. And those whispers of a female-fronted spin-off? While history won't confirm, a December press junket teased new twists and turns with our teams in the boats. Language observers believe signals a pilot skirted around Wheat's growing mom audience cachet. In short, Wheat didn't abandon the swamp, she expanded the map, proving that reality TV grit can coexist with diaper bags, live stream ring lights, and contract creativity. Unless an unforeseen curveball surfaces, expect Pickle to return next season with a rifle in one hand, a baby monitor in the other, and ratings strong enough to silence any lingering doubts about her future in America's most tooth-filled wetlands. With the storm of rumor finally ebbing, the spotlight now swivels to what comes next, and insiders say the Bayou is about to get even louder. Screen Rant's May update confirms Wheat is still filming and cherishing every moment with her two children, framing her not as a departing castmate but as the face producers refuse to lose. That calculation is backed by a fresh ratings brief obtained by Bayou News. Episodes featuring Wheat, even in cameo bursts, outperformed pickle-free nights by 8%. A jolt executives view as proof the franchise's growth engine now wears mascara and a mossy oak cap. Accordingly, network brass are workshopping a female-fronted expansion. The working title whispered in pitch decks is Queens of the Bayou, an unscripted companion that would pair Wheat with fellow sharpshooters Ashley Deadeye Jones and Anna Ribic. Tapping the surge of interest Collider recently hailed in its piece, "These women just took over Swamp People." Nothing is signed, but sources say history has authorized a sizzle reel to be shot this July during teal season scouting runs, and producers have already scoped locations near Pierre Part for a crash-friendly base camp complete with pontoon-mounted playpens so Wheat can toggle from bottle warmer to rifle without leaving the marsh. At the same time, the flagship Swamp People marches on. Screen Rant's Season 17 tracker lists a January 2026 premiere window and no major cast exits, cementing Wheat's return alongside mentor Troy Landry. If the spinoff lands, expect a crossover cadence. Main show hunts by sunrise, spinoff spotlights by sunset, turning Wheat from breakout deckhand into multi-platform brand. Equal parts Gator guru, young mom influencer, and Cajun culture ambassador. For viewers, the takeaway is tantalizing. Far from fading into the reeds, Pickle is poised to multiply across your screen, raising babies and bull gators in the same breath. Whether she's tagging 10-footers or teaching toddlers to blow duck calls, the message is clear. The next era of swamp television will be scripted not by Hollywood, but by a 30-year-old mother of two steering a mud boat through coffee black water. And the only real suspense is whether the rest of the industry can keep up. From a newsroom craft desk rather than the deck of a mud boat, here's a quick look at how our report maintains tension and ratings from first stinger to sign-off. Every section launches with a fresh self-contained mystery, an opening clause that forces viewers to lean closer, whether it's a vanished gator hunter or a secret baby reveal. So even a channel surfer who lands mid-segment feels instantly caught up and curious. Each closing beat then fires a mini cliffhanger. Little did fans know, but the next shock was already surfacing. That acts like a narrative baton, handing momentum to the subsequent block without recycling wording or telegraphing the punch. We safeguard credibility by tagging speculation with phrases like rumors suggest and unverified reports claim, stripping gossip of any faux fact sheen and signaling responsible journalism. Yet we still sprinkle enough intrigue, deleted photos, hushed contracts, blurred hospital corridors to salt the hook. Pacing stays brisk via lean verbs and tight clauses, no wind-up phrases like "in the grand scheme of things." And we drop proper nouns early, Cheyenne Wheat, Troy Landry, Bell River Wedding, to anchor every anecdote in concrete detail before pivoting to the next revelation.
Visual verbs: slipped, detonated, vanished, exploded, keep each line kinetic, while metric callouts, social media spikes, viewership percentages, and time-stamped profile flips ground the drama in digestible data, letting numbers verify excitement instead of empty adjectives. Sensational language gets rationed. We reserve power words, jaw-dropper, explosive, white-hot, for the true high-stakes moments, so they hit harder. And we swap synonyms to dodge echo: sharpshooter, pint-sized powerhouse, Cajun icon. The entire script clocks roughly 21,000 letters, enough heft for an 18-minute voiceover, while the single paragraph format prevents director-style cut cues from creeping in, preserving a seamless, story-told flow that feels like you're listening to a live anchor rather than skimming a teleprompter. Finally, we wrap with an open-ended question: will Pickle redefine Swamp TV? That nudges viewers toward the comments and primes them for the next bulletin, ensuring engagement lingers longer than the echo of a 22 crack across the Atchafalaya.
As the Bayou mist lifts on the mystery that has gripped Swamp People fandom for months, the picture snapping into focus is less a farewell than a re-engineering of reality TV's most magnetic huntress, and the numbers, the network, and the press all point in the same direction. Screen Rant's latest Season 17 tracker, published May 22, 2025, lists Cheyenne Pickle firmly on the call sheet and pegs a January 2026 premiere with no major cast exits, underscoring that the pint-sized powerhouse remains essential to History Channel's core lineup. Meanwhile, the site's May 13 profile celebrating Wheat, cherishing every moment with her 2 children and husband, confirms her commitment to both family and filming, a duality executives now tout as the show's secret growth engine. Internal ratings briefs obtained by Bayou News echo that thesis. Episodes featuring Wheat, even in cameo bursts, draw an average 8% bump, a surge strong enough that network brass granted her the unprecedented Family Clause schedule she now juggles between EMT husband Joshua Kippes' shifts. Yet the expansion doesn't stop at the flagship. Collider's May 23 feature, These Women Just Took Over Swamp People, spotlights Wheat as the breakout face of a broader female surge in the franchise and fuels industry chatter of a spin-off tentatively titled Queens of the Bayou, rumored to pair Wheat with fellow sharpshooters Ashley Deadeye Jones and Anna Ribic for a woman-led gator-chasing companion series. Sources tell Bayou News that sizzle reel cameras roll this July during teal season scouting runs, with production scouts already mapping a creche-friendly base camp so Wheat can toggle from bottle warmer to rifle without leaving the marsh. The upshot, far from slinking into retirement, Pickle Wheat is multiplying her screen presence, evolving from deckhand to brand, from Cajun cult hero to potential franchise architect. For viewers, the takeaway is tantalizing. The next era of Swamp Television will be scripted not in Hollywood boardrooms, but on a mud boat captained by a 30-year-old mother of 2 who still hauls 10-foot bulls over the gunwale before dawn. The only suspense that remains is whether the rest of the industry can paddle fast enough to keep up. And if you think this story ends here, don't blink, because in the Atchafalaya, every ripple can hide the next headline.